Tomorrow, we don't have a lot of time, we have 15 minutes now, so I think we're on page 151, right?
Sounds right.
All right, so this is line, well, it says 82, so what we
163.
on 163?
We're ahead.
We're on 162 actually.
Oh, that's,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
that's great,
Yes.
very good, that's a relief. I thought we were further ahead than that. This is, could be the last one that we read, so the last, anybody want to have the honors of doing that? We'll start with Anna Grace, and notice at the top, I've told you this from the beginning, you can find out where you are, circle 7, ring 3, the sand, now I put that over here, ring 3 is the burning sand and the raining fire, and there are 3 kinds of sinners mentioned here. Have we done the first one yet? I don't know, I can't remember. Have we done Capaneus yet?
I think we talked a little bit about him, about how like he relates to the blasphemy. He goes to the top of the wall and said he'll never, like nobody can even strike him down except for Job. And then he was stopped because he was struck by it.
Okay. Yes, so there was a little, what am I trying to say? Digression, maybe. He would have considered it. We've left that out. I don't remember, but we have left that out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But remember that, have we read about that? So this Capaneus,
Yes.
this guy right here, okay, he was the one of those that attacked Thebes, the attack on Thebes, we won't get into that, but it's part of Greek mythology, and he was one of the kings, and when he got to the top, he said, not even Zeus can stop me, or, and so he got at that moment. And I think I mentioned the comment, did I say an awful thing? Did I tell you that? I'm not going to repeat it, but the awful thing is, apparently she's a comedian, and she was talking about the abortion issue. She said something, it's the worst thing I've ever heard about it, and it was one of those things, okay, you want to back off and say, I don't want to be close to you when God strikes you down. I mean, you can say almost anything, people can hear almost anything, and oh, goodness, he shouldn't have said that, but this was one of those comments you think, okay, that's a new low. I've never heard anybody say anything quite that low. Sometimes that happens. I think you can look it up on YouTube. I don't think I've ever watched it, but you can look up these people, what happened to these people after they insulted God? I'm always curious, like they said something awful about God, they blasphemed God, and I think I know that happens. It doesn't happen very often. God is extremely patient. He's got a judgment day coming. But there's sometimes, even in the Bible, where he almost immediately took people out. We want that to happen to all our enemies, of course. Gee, wish God would just strike them down right now. Fortunately, he doesn't do that because he's very patient, and they may get it turned around. But there are times when people cross the line. This guy crossed the line when he challenged God to his faith. Well, it's just an example of challenging God in Greek mythology. So that's what happened to him. So we are turning to 162. We left out this business. If you're interested, we skipped most of 158 and 159 about the rivers of hell. Let me look at the question. Let's see. We did the suicides. 157, 158. I guess we'll skip 55. I don't even know the answer to that. But look at question 56. All right, so we haven't. I'm not going to ask you to skip a question right now. There are 5 rivers in hell, and they're on the review sheet. They are mentioned on page 159. So I would like you to know that part of the geography, the 5 rivers. We've actually looked at 3. You remember the 3 we've looked at?
Styx, Acheron, and Flood.
Right, Phlegethon. The 2 rivers, you want to write them down. The 2 rivers we will skip are Cocytus, Cocytus.
That's a river?
Yeah. Cocytus. TUS, isn't that what I said?
You said Cocytos, yes, sir.
And it is, it's US. I said the wrong thing. So Cocytus, I'll put it right here. Cocytus and Lethe. I'll get out of your way so you see it. Those are the last 2 rivers. Cocytus is the river in the lowest part of hell. It's frozen. And Lethe is the river that the two travelers used to return to the surface of the earth. So this is the F class. If I hadn't said that already, we are looking at, we're skipping a little section here. The last 2 rivers are Cocytus, the frozen river where Satan is, and Lethe, the river, I think it's a forgetfulness, where that leads Dante and Virgil out or up to the surface of the earth. So we are going to 162, this very last section, and Anna Grace is going to read for us.
While crossing the sand upon the dike banking Phlegethon, Dante sees the violent against nature, who run perpetually looking towards the human body against which they offended. He meets his old teacher, Brunetto Latini, whom he addresses with affectionate regret and deep gratitude for past benefits. Brunetto predicts Dante's ill treatment at the hands of Florentines. Now the hard margin bears us on, while steam from off the water makes a canopy above to fend the fire from bank and stream. Just as the men of Flanders anxiously twixt Bruges and Wissen build their bulwarks wide, fearing the thrust and onset of the sea, or as the Paduans dike up Breda's tide to guard their towns and castles ere the heat loose down the snows from Chieriantana? From
What line are you in? Okay.
9. Loose
Okay,
down
that's close. Yes, that's good.
Chieriantana's side, such fashion of the brinks that bank the fleet, save that whoever he was, their engineer, and breadth and height had built them less great. Already we left the wood behind so far that had I returned back to view those glades, could not have told their whereabouts. And here, hurrying close to the bank, a troop of shades met us, who eyed as much as passers-by eye one another when the daylight fades. To dusk and a new moon is in the sky, and knitting up their brows they squeam at us like an old tailor at the needle's eye. Then, while the whole group peered upon me thus, one of them recognized me, who caught hard at my gown's hem and cried, "Oh, marvelous!" When he put out his hand to me, I stared at his scorched face, searching him through and through, so that the shriveled skin and features, scared might not mislead my memory. Then I knew, and stooping down to bring my face near his, I said, "What you hear, Sir Brunetto, you."
Thank you. All right, very good. So the picture is they are in this third circle, and it is a burning sand, and they see somebody, see a troop, he calls them, of people that are running and looking down. All right, so when Dante has to talk to him, which he does in a minute, he has to get down sort of to look at him. He looks this way, so they're kind of hunched over, looking downward. Yeah.
The top page says Holy Saturday. When is that?
That's the day after Good Friday, so it's the day before, it's the Saturday before Easter. So anyway, that's what he notices, and he notices this particular person, scorched face, because this person spoke to him. He said, "Oh, marvelous." And so he had scorched face, shriveled skin, and he looks and he notices that it is Brunetto Latini. So, Romy, we'll look at this. Brunetto Latini. Yep, okay. Who is this guy? It is Dante's beloved teacher, Brunetto Latini. Brunetto Latini. And so, anyone like to pick the right reading up here? Lena, if you'll start. I think, yeah, my son, and he said my son, yeah.
And he, thy son, pray take it not amiss, if now Brunetto Latini at thy side, turn back a while, letting this troop dismiss. With all my heart I beg you to, I cry, or I'll sit down with you as you like best, or if he there will permit, for he's my guide. O son, said he, should one of our lot rest 1 second, 100 years he must lie low, nor even beat the flames back from his breast. Therefore, go on, I at thy skirts will go, and then rejoin my household, who thus race forever lost, and weeping for their woe.
So their punishment, whatever it is running in the burning sand, is also fire coming from heaven, not heaven, but from above. And so they are running, so he's going to talk to him while they're running, right?
I durst not venture from the road to pace beside him, so I walked with down-bent head, like some devout soul in a holy place. He thus began, what chance or fate has led thy footsteps here before thy final day? And who is this that guides thee? So I said, up in the sunlit life I lost my way in a dark vale, for my years had come to their full number. Only yesterday, at morn, I turned my back upon its gloom. This other came, found me returning there, stopped me, and by this path now leads me home. And he made answer, follow but thy star, thou canst not fail to win the glorious haven. If in glad life my judgment did not err.
Okay, mark that. That's Latini encouraging Dante, because he thinks Dante can be a really good writer, and this guy helped him learn how to write, as did Virgil through reading the Aeneid. But he's saying, follow thou star, thou canst not fail to win the glorious haven. That's what Latini, the teacher, says, or tutor, he's more of a tutor, than he says to Dante.
So that's his foreshadowing.
Yes.
Had I not died so soon, I would have given counsel and aid to cheer thee in thy work, seeing how favored thou hast been by heaven. But that ungrateful malignant folk, which formerly came down from Feasel, and is grained of mountain and hewn rock, for thy good deeds will be thine enemy, with cause for where bitter foes are rooted, is no fit orchard for the sweet fig tree.
Okay, he also predicts Dante will be basically exiled or persecuted. So he predicts that Dante will go through, because remember, this was taking place the year before Dante was exiled.
They can see the future in hell, but they can't see the present.
Very good. I hope everybody can remember those things as well as that. All right, a blind people, and always so reputed, proud, envious, covetous, since times remote, cleanse off their customs, lest thou be polluted. Fortune has honors for thee. This is Latini, again, encouraging Dante. Of such note, but, both sides will seek to snatch thee and devour, but yet the good grass shall escape the goat. Let for Soli's wild breeze catch up to their sour litter themselves from their rank native weed, nor touch the plant if any such can flower upon their midden, in whose sacred seeds survives the Roman line left there to dwell when the huge nest of vice began to breed. We're going to have to bring this to a conclusion here, so I will stop there. Literally, I think we can probably get to the end of this tomorrow and stop. Now, I do wanna read the last cantos. I hope, we need to have time to go all the way to the end to see where all this ends up. I think that's, I think you deserve that. You've read half of it. You need to see where it all ends. So, you have the review sheet. You need to start identifying those items on there. We took the quiz today. I'll be grading that. I'll be giving you the review sheet for the exam early next week. So, we're bringing this to a conclusion. Oh, you have a little extra time. I think you have 5 extra minutes today.
Oh, for break?
Yeah.
Oh. Thanks, Ms.
Yeah, see you later.
Did you stop the video?
No, thank you.
I love today.